All right, welcome to the stream. It's birdie time. Appreciate you hanging out with me, being here, and I would like to officially say welcome to the live stream. I recently played in Amateur Worlds just a couple of weeks ago in Missouri. It's been kind of crazy traveling across the country, competing, having a really great round one, being tied for the lead, and then slowly dropping down to finish in 15th place, which I'm very happy with. Very, very thrilled with a solid finish. Then traveling back, it was 13 hours by car. Uh, Finally got back. Kind of a crazy week, a little tournament yesterday, but it feels like I'm settling back into the normal, regular schedule of life at home. So we're back to the regular streams instead of having to be kind of crammed into the corner of an Airbnb or Tuesday night trying to cobble something together. We've got Justin jumping in the chat saying, Yo, what's up, Justin? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you jumping in. One of the longtime moderators and top contributors to the channel, Justin. Let's see, Justin, I think, did you just ask if a hole was aced in Am Worlds in the tournament? I just saw your comment right as I was going live, and I did not read it. Well, I read it, but I did not respond to it. Was this hole ace in the tournament? I don't think so. Was that downhill one? I don't think it was ace. I'll double check that later. I know there were several aces in the tournament, but the hole after this hole was like 190 feet uphill or 170 feet uphill, and I have a feeling that one was probably aced, way more likely. This one being over 300 feet downhill, crazy ace if that one gets hit in tournament. But I will double check to actually make sure. Madden Mobile Extreme says hi. Thanks for hopping on and joining. Swinging by and joining the stream. But yeah, I do know several Amateur Worlds aces and a lot of Am World Eagles as well. So that was pretty impressive. But several of the holes, I would say, were like not a huge surprise. They got eagled. One of them, I just posted the video. I got down to a 45-foot putt for eagle, and I threw a mid-range off the tee. But that was the easiest, I would say, eagle on the course. At the same time, it was also kind of tricky to get there. Tons of trees in the way, so it was a little bit of a poke and pray. But if you throw like I did and got a little bit lucky, then you could really get a reasonable eagle chance without having to throw super, super far. And then if you were able to throw 480, 500 plus feet, then there were a couple other eagles that you could possibly get a look at out on the course. And I saw a few good eagle bids on cards that I played on. And I think I saw an eagle on round 4 as well. But, oh, and I did see an ace run off the band as well. So there are some crazy ones for sure. Stoner says, couldn't beat Nolan's hot round this weekend. Nope. No, dude, he shredded. I played a little tournament yesterday at Lake Courier. I'd only played there once, actually Thursday, just preparing for the tournament. And so that was the first time that I'd ever been, and it was fun. It's an interesting, fun little course. And as I finished at 6 down, I was like, okay, solid, not incredible, just above my rating. That's fine. Decent chance to win MA1. And I talked to Nolan, and he was like, yeah, I've never shot 7 down. That would be my personal best. So he goes and shoots 11 down and destroys everybody. So congrats to Nolan for outplaying me, either hiding that info from me or just having an incredible round. I think he chained up an ace too. Just a crazy round. So pretty much unbeatable. But he pretty much he shredded. That was really great. But I beat Brent, so that's the most important thing is I took second, Team Brent took third. Remy says hi, bro, and with a bunch of waves. Hi, Remy. Thanks for hopping on and joining us. Keek says hi. I don't know much English, but what you're talking about seems interesting. I think it's interesting, but we'll let the audience determine that, I guess. But appreciate you being here and hanging out. Jacob Stoner says hashtag Team Brad. That's what I like to see. None of that Team Brent nonsense. Doc's not here to vote for Brent, so that's good. Definitely the team that I think is, you know, the right choice, the best choice. Although Brent and I, of course, being USDGC Doubles partners, we will be on the same team. I think actually Brent signed us up under Team Birdie or something like that. I don't know. Birdie Bros? I can't remember. Remy says hi again. Keek says, I'm from Mexico. Would you say hello? Yes, hello. Hello. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Keek Vasquez. Appreciate you hanging out and being here. I am from the United States, specifically Charlotte area of North Carolina. So North Carolina is where I am in the U.S. There's a bunch of great disc golf here. We have some fantastic courses, some iconic shots that you might see on Instagram. Then the Disc Golf Pro Tour finale is often played here. Rock Hill is nearby, where USDGC is played. So Charlotte is kind of like one of the central hubs of disc golf for the country. Maybe not specifically for the Pro Tour, but a lot of pros do stay in Charlotte in the off season, specifically Paul Ulibarri, as well as others. Vasquez says, I will subscribe to say hello. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And Remy says, that's not my name. My name is Renee. Is it pronounced Renee, or is it like Reen? Or is it something else? Tell me how to pronounce your name. I guess Renee usually has two N's for Renee, or two E's for Renee. I'm just guessing here. Let me know. Type out a pronunciation for me so I can say it right. But yeah, the Charlotte area is very strong for disc golf. Yeah, Renee. Okay, I'm just gonna say Renee until you correct me. So we'll call that good. I just opened up the Ledgestone Mystery Box, so I decided, well, I should say Brent convinced me to buy one. He was like, "Oh, you'll probably win a cart." Brent has no idea what he's talking about, but he convinced me to get one. He said he was going to get one, so I grabbed one, and I ended up with a couple of cool discs. This one is one of my I love the plastic on this one, and I love the feel for it. Ledgestone 24. This is I want to say this is a Scorch, or maybe this one was a Passion. Yeah, this one's a Scorch. And then this one's a really cool Undertaker that I snagged. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if this is my favorite one, but between the plastic and the disc itself and the stamp, it's definitely up there. Looks very cool. And then I grabbed a Paige Pierce Passion. I have, of course, a buzz. Every mystery box that has Discraft discs in it needs a buzz. So, of course, it came with a nice midnight buzz. This looks really sweet. This one's a 2023 Ledgestone edition. 2022 Tour Series Thrasher, Missy Gannon. Lightweight, might fly forever. Raptor, which is pretty cool. I have a Raptor and a Captain's Raptor, and I'm interested to see how this flies and compares. And then a Zone, a Chris Clemens Lemon Zone. We're not done. Hades, which is a St. Jude stamp. Hades Glow, very cool. And then maybe the second, I can't decide, second favorite or favorite between the Undertaker and this double stamped Sagara. I love the kind of like confetti flake on the inside of this. Very, very cool. Partially see-through as well. And then last of all, another Passion. So I have two Passions here, really stacking up the the extra discs, but I'm sure I'll give one or two of these away. We'll see which ones. I'll probably give them all a throw just to see how they fly. I'm not sure I need a Hades. I do like the Undertaker. I'm sure I'll give away one of the Passions as well. I think I will keep the Sagara, though. That one is going to stay with me. Justin says, what hole was it? I'm looking at scores. I think it was hole 7 that you asked about being aced, and I was thinking hole 8 at Harmony Bends. So Harmony Bends, hole 7 is the video that you asked about, and I'm going to say I think hole 8 was aced at Harmony Bends. I could also see holes 3 and 4 being aced at Harmony Bends as well. So let's see, 3, 4, 8. Then there's a bunch of par 4s. 9, 10, 11, 12 might have been aced. 14 might have been aced. And 16 could have been aced. So that would be my guesses for Harmony Bends for an ace. So let me know if I'm right with any of those. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Renee says cool. All right. Juicy, I'm sure you've confused me with your father, but I don't have any kids. Good try. So yeah, so I ended up with that Ledgestone Mystery Box, and I'm not really a big mystery box purchaser. I have had a couple of them. The Discmania Bistro box was probably my favorite, but the Gyropalooza MVP box was also very cool. But opening the Ledgestone box was nice. It was sweet. I didn't feel like they had a lot of cool stamps, which was a mild disappointment. Like the Gyropalooza, make sure that you get at least one sweet stamp because the balance. Like, I've done that like 5 times. So the Gyropalooza balance has their like really cool stamp on it. So this is like this is guaranteed. You're gonna get a disc with a cool stamp. And the Ledgestone one was a little more like you might get a cool stamp, maybe not, but you're going to get a couple misprints, which is fine. Like they're selling the mystery boxes at a price point where they have to give out some lower value discs for selling, even though the discs themselves are good value discs and like worthwhile. They're not going to sell for as much, but of course, if they fly well for you, then they're worth even more than what you would pay for them just because they're misprint. They look funny. But of course, the retail price gets lowered from that. So that helps them pad the numbers for their discs to put into the box. But this time didn't end up with anything really, really cool looking. Some of the plastics were really sweet. But gotta turn around. This wasn't mine, but Brent opened a Ledgestone box and got this Force, this Rocket League stamped Force, which I just love it. I think it's really sweet. You can't see it too well, so yeah. Anyway, super cool. Maybe you can see it backwards better, but that one has been added to my collection for the stamp. I do play Rocket League and enjoy it. Is a Ledgestone Mystery Box sold out? Yes, it is. It sold out pretty quickly. So I don't know if they have any plans to restock or if it was just a totally limited release, which might be the case. I think they said they only had a few hundred they were going to sell. So, yes, I think so. But if you fall in love with any of the discs that I showed, there's a chance that I would part with one. So let me know. Jimmy says, what do you think of Harmony overall? So I've thought very well of Harmony. I liked the experience of playing it. I played Joseph C. Miller first for practice, and I appreciated the course, but there were several holes where I said, in the middle of the hole, the fairway just kind of vanishes, and you just have to get lucky through a bunch of trees and then make your way to the basket. Harmony, I really didn't experience that. I really felt like every hole had a fairway or two that you could pick from, especially on par fours. It was like you could take the right side or you could take the left side. You could either push toward OB or play it safer but have a more narrow fairway. Like there was a great amount of like risk reward strategy. How are you going to play the hole? Do you have a forehand or a backhand? Do you have the turnover? Like what do you want to do? So I had a lot of appreciation for that. And I thought there really were good fairways all the way to the basket. I like the tee pads. The tee pads were huge, which is a huge bonus for me. I really dislike tiny, dinky little tee pads. They annoy me quite a bit. And I don't even have a massive run up. I really just kind of have a maybe medium sized run up, I guess. But still, like just not having that or having to step up on the tee pad, I just find very annoying when I'm trying to run up to throw. So I liked all of that. I liked how you walked across the rocks on hole 1 several times. I liked the amount of OB they put in. I thought was pretty fair. The location of OB was usually pretty fair. There were a few holes where it was very close to the basket, but it's like that just means you either have to risk it for the birdie or play it safe for a par or play it for a safe birdie look, but maybe you're less likely to hit the 35-foot putt versus a 15-foot putt, etc. So good experience of Harmony. I approve. I like the course. I think it is a top course in the country for a reason, and it kind of really deserves that spot, I would say. Plus, we only played one of 3 tee-pad layouts, so they have a good variety for different skill levels. So that's also a huge plus, and probably part of why it's so highly rated, because lower talent players can enjoy the course without feeling like it's an overwhelmingly difficult experience. People like me who competed near the top of amateur worlds are able to say, I can go out and destroy this course, or I could have a tough day, but it's scoreable. Like I can compete on this. And then there's an even longer layout for the real pros. So that was a very cool experience. Justin says, yeah, just found a hole 14 ace. 14. Okay. So that was probably a skip ace, probably a forehand skip shot, because there's like this leaning tree triangle that you can throw through or around. And I got the birdie round 5 by throwing through the gap, and I went past the basket and made my putt back. But I could see a skip ace just kind of lifting up and getting into the basket like that. A girl ace 12 as well from Reds. Okay, 12 from Reds. Okay, I did call 12 as a possible ace as well. And from Reds, I can definitely see that happening, because it's you don't even have the gap hit anymore. It's just an even easier shot. Renee says, GG. Stoner says, I got an extra Echo tournament if you're interested in it. Yes, I am. What plastic is it? But yes, I'm probably very much interested. Oh gosh. Justin says, okay, in round 4, 2, 4, 8, 11, 12, and 13 were all aced. Those can't have been aces, because that would have been... Oh, never mind. That would have been Harmony. No, 2 can't be aced. Yeah, those must be eagles. Those can't be aces, because hole 2 at the Dam, where I was playing, and hole 2 at Harmony are pretty much impossible to ace. At the Dam, it's an 800-foot hole, and at Harmony, it is a 570-foot hole around a corner. It's totally unreachable. So those must be eagles. Yeah, those must be eagles, not aces. Because I could see 2 at Harmony. I can see 4 being aced. 8 being aced. But 11 and 12 are par 5. So those aren't aces. Or 11 is a par 5. Par 4. 12 is aceable. 13 is a par 4. Yeah. Yeah. Those might just be listing all the eagles, which an ace on a par 3 and an eagle on a par 4 would look the same. Obviously, one of them is a 1. But otherwise, they're like the same color and everything. Brent says, this guy, Brent, 3rd place at Lake Courier, obviously beaten by 2nd place, who outplayed Brent in every capacity, just destroyed him by 2 strokes. And then Brent and I got lunch afterward. Probably just looked at the scorecards too fast. Yeah, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Yeah, Brent and I got a pretty... What was that pizza that we ate, Brent? That was very good. It was like, I'm gonna say the wrong thing, like prosciutto pizza or something. I don't know what it was. Brent will tell me. But Brent and I, high hopes for the Lake Courier tournament, dashed. I missed 3 putts in the circle. Normally I miss 1 or 0, but 3 was sad. Brent just off on a couple of holes and got really punished for some shots that weren't bad, and then some just bad luck, generally speaking. And then Nolan goes out and shreds, and we're like, oh, well, too bad. Steven says, hello, hope you're well. Working now, see if I can stop on later. Awesome. Thanks for checking in for a minute, Steven. Appreciate you swinging by. Obviously, putting in the work on live stream nights is respectable, and I appreciate any time you spare to even turn on the stream. Such a legend. Yeah, Brent and I got in some okay disc golf between the 2 of us. Actually, if we had played doubles, we probably would have gone 14 down. It's crazy that Nolan went 11 because we would not have gone better than, I would say, 15 down, because there were holes that neither of us were anywhere close to a birdie look. We were both parring at best. Uh, but a few bogeys that wouldn't have happened as a doubles team. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how well Nolan played. Stoner says maybe neutron plastic. I'll send a picture tomorrow. Okay, that sounds good. I do like me neutron, cosmic neutron echoes for sure. The glow ones are fine, but not like the ones that I'm seeking after as much, and they don't get necessarily in the bag as easily. But yes, I am very interested. Thank you for thinking of me. So thoughtful. I appreciate it. I'm always ready to add an echo to the stack just in case. I even threw an echo into the water at Scrapyard. Hole 9. Yep. And it has not been found yet, so I'm hoping that turns up. It's recognizably mine, but yeah. Definitely not glow. Good. Okay. Very interested. I would love to see it. Danyar is also checking in and joining us. Appreciate you being here. I would say Harmony was my favorite course of the 3 at Amateur Worlds for multiple reasons. The Dam was really not my favorite course. I really didn't have a good practice round, for one thing. When I did practice at Miller and Harmony, the first 2 rounds of practice that I got, there were water jugs with ice water after every couple of holes. So multiple times throughout the course, there was a refill for water, and this is leading up to the event, getting my practice in. So that was really nice. I took water with me, but I left a lot of it in the car because I'm not going to just carry a gallon of water in my backpack with me out on the course. Then I get to the Dam, and between hole 2 and hole 14, which is next to hole 2, nothing. So I run out of water by hole 6, and I played this practice round with Stoner. We have accumulated a card of 4 now, and so we're taking longer. I had planned to film, so I was filming my practice round. We had multiple extra guys with multiple extra throws, and by the time we got back to hole 14, I was just miserable. I was so thirsty. It was just so hot. It was 95-ish degrees, humid, like just sweating through all my clothes, out of water. I started to feel like I was stopping sweating, and I was like, oh no, like I'm so dehydrated that I can't even sweat like normal. Finally was able to refill on water, but at that point it was almost like it was too late. Then I birdied 15, 16, and 18 in practice. So I guess that goes to show that I could do it. Like I could play okay out there. Then round 2 comes around. I'm being filmed by Gatekeeper Media, and it's super windy, just a ripping headwind. I had very low confidence because what worked in the practice round did not work in the wind, and I had that rough practice round, and there was a lot of pressure for being on lead card. And long story short, bad round. Just triple bogeying hole 2, that doesn't help. Doesn't help. And in conclusion, for multiple reasons, the Dam just wasn't my favorite experience for practicing, for competing. I didn't hate the course, but I also kind of had the experience that for bombers, there were eagles and easy birdies out there. But for me, I had to work a little harder for my birdies, and I really wasn't likely to get any of the eagles. Again, to be fair, that is fine because that rewards skill sets that I haven't worked on as much, that I don't really have. So that's not it's not unfair or anything like that. I'm not trying to express that, but personally, not how I appreciate course design for my skill set and for my bag, versus Harmony and Miller, where I felt like I could play well at those courses. I could keep up with, compete with the top of amateur worlds. At Joseph C. Miller and at Harmony Bends, I was either playing the hot round or within a few shots of the hot round or having a bad round and keeping up. But at the Dam, I just had 2 not so great rounds. So definitely that was my experience of the 3. Then my brother came to caddy. Shout out to my brother for flying across the country for 2 days of caddying. And afterward, we played the Albert Oakland, and it was okay. But I feel like the FA1 division got kind of like the scraps, because compared to the other courses, they did compete at Harmony, and they compete at Miller. I just feel like it didn't compare to the level of all 3 of the other courses. So when they had to play there, I feel like they got the short end of the stick by having to throw that course into the mix in comparison to the others. It wasn't a bad experience, but the layout was confusing and it looped back on itself. And there were a lot of holes that didn't make sense for FA1, like the distance, like a 440-foot par 3 was like, what? Like, why? Why is this happening? It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that was my experience of the courses in use for Amateur Worlds. They did a good job with the event. They put a lot of effort into it. And clearly, the PDGA knows how to do a pretty good job running an amateur major, and it was a cool experience. I would do it again if I were staying in the amateur division, but I'm not. Not staying amateur, and once I have USDGC Doubles, which is October, coming very soon now, as it's the last day of August today, 1 month, and then the first week of October, Brent and I will be competing in USDGC amateur doubles. That will likely be my last amateur event. Maybe I'll be wrapping up a point series or something, but I think pretty much I'm going to be stepping right into MPO. Obviously, I'm not going on the pro tour or anything, but I'm ready to step into the professional division and hopefully make $10 a week last cash in MPO. Hey, Renee is back. Thanks for hopping on back. Appreciate you swinging back. So definitely something that I'm looking for. Have a few events that I've had my eye on closer to the end of the year. Last year I played in the Charlotte Roar Open and had a good first round. I was in second place after round 1, made lead card in MPO, and got to play with Paul Ulibarri. Very, very cool experience. As well, I have played in the Chainhawk Open in Florida the past 3 years. The first year I played, I won MA3. Then the next year I moved up to MA1 and took 4th place. Then the following year, this last year, I won in MA1, and I'm excited to play in MPO this year. And if my trend continues, I'll take 4th place, which would be fantastic because there are several pros who are extremely talented. I obviously don't expect to play at that level, but I would love to see how I can do. And I know that my absolute best in the local Gainesville courses can compare to the scores in the Chainhawk Open. So I just need to summon my best 3 rounds in a row, which is not easy to do. Remy with all the waves hopping in back in the chat. Appreciate it, man. So let's see. I guess football season is starting. I have a fantasy draft or a fantasy football league that I'm a part of now, and I haven't checked it. I haven't even looked. I have no idea who I have. I have no idea if I have anybody good or if I'm destined to fail. I have no clue, and I've just been so busy with traveling. Like, we did the draft. I think I can't remember if I was it was the day before I left for Missouri, and I was just like packing, getting everything in order, and then I was running the stream, and then I was heading out. So I was like, I don't have time for this. So whatever happened without me being involved. I have no idea who I have. And since then, Amateur Worlds, traveling back, tournament prep, just haven't even checked it. So I don't know how you guys are doing with your fantasy leagues, if you guys are happy with the players that you have, but I have no idea who I have. Hey, Renee subscribed. Awesome. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Oh, I left my water. Where did I leave my water? I always have my water. Where'd it go? Did I bring it? I'll be right back. Where did I put it? Okay. I left my water downstairs. I even refilled it, and then I left it behind. I'm good for now, but I'll probably have to go get it in a little while because I'm a little bit thirsty. Subscribed and liked. Thank you so much, Renee. Really appreciate it. Brent, how are you feeling after taking third place? Demoralized as you should be. Brent definitely had a rough round. He had pretty much everything that could go wrong pretty much went wrong for him. It was kind of brutal. And of course, I like to celebrate beating Brent because he's my buddy. But of course, as my doubles teammate, I would like him to get ready for amateur doubles. I don't want him failing leading up to amateur doubles. So hopefully soon I see Brent tearing up some courses and getting prepped for that because I don't want my doubles partner to be having a rough round. That would be unfortunate. That'd be very unfortunate. Yeah, not my preference. Got to get him ready for Winthrop University. Winthrop course, pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys have ever watched USDGC, but it's a massive event near the end of the Disc Golf Pro Tour season, whatever, the tour. And it's a cool experience. Even just spectating is kind of wild. Seeing the shots that they're capable of, looking at the difficulty of the holes that they play. It really is a next level course. And I have a feeling that as a doubles team, we still won't play best shot doubles as well as like 10th place in USDGC because they're just so crazy good. Calvin has had some insane rounds out there. Gannon, of course, has shown up for USDGC. But there are some pretty fun holes. There are definitely some birdies, some distance shots that are possible to reach, some par fours that are gettable. And I think the main thing is going to be staying in bounds, staying clean, stuff like 17 and 18. If one person throws out of bounds, those holes can get very treacherous and very risky for playing for a birdie versus playing for a par. And bogeys will just kill a doubles team score. So you gotta get your pars and then snag your birdies when you can get them. And I think that's gonna take some high level play from us for sure. It's gonna be difficult to play that course. Brent definitely has a little more distance, so that's going to be in our favor. He can throw pretty far, and I have okay distance, and the biggest shots on the course are a little bit downhill, so that's good as well because that helps me get that distance off the tee, and I tend to have decent accuracy as well off the tee. So that combination of downhill shots with accuracy, I have some confidence in that, so that's pretty good. Also, last year when I played, it was an intimidating course that I'd never played before. Got some practice in, but wasn't able to play the full 18. It wasn't fully set up yet. Some of the pros were there already before USDGC, getting some practice in. So it's kind of a crowded event. Just exhausted by throwing tons of practice shots out there. And while it was a good experience, it was definitely tough to be ready for that level of course. And I don't think that I really was. So I had an okay round, but struggled a little bit. And it was hard to keep up the mentality and the physical perseverance on that course. So I'm looking forward for a little bit of revenge this year. I think there's a lot of shots I can throw better, safer, further, some birdies that we can get, some better putting, hopefully from me. That'd be very nice. All right, Renee's peacing out again. See you, man. Appreciate you hanging out. So definitely an interesting experience at USDGC. Definitely a tough one. It's next level. It is a next level Pro Tour course for sure. But I have high hopes for Brent and I to be competitive. I'm not assuming that we'll place near the top or that we have a chance to win. I think talent-wise we have a chance to win, but I'm not saying that I expect us to just like be in the top 3 with a chance final round or anything like that. But I know that we are capable of being competitive and have a chance to show that. So it'd be really nice to compete near the top at that level. To have a couple of great rounds would be very cool. And if we'd have some really good putts coming down the stretch, we could really put up some good scores out there. Joseph says, gotta believe, big dog. Yeah, I think that we have a chance to win. It is an event where the best amateurs from around the country are going to show up. I mean, Sullivan Tipton is one of the previous amateur doubles winners. So, like, literally some of the best disc golfers in the country, some of the up and coming amateurs who will be touring in the next 2 years, they're going to be there. They're going to be competing for amateur doubles. So it definitely takes something special to keep up with that and to compete at that level. And it's something that I know is possible, something I believe we could do, but the odds are stacked a little bit against us. We would have to be putting out our best golf, and we'd have to kind of hope that the other teams we're competing against don't have 3 rounds of their best golf, because there's a few teams out there that if they have 3 rounds of their best golf, they're unbeatable. They're pretty much uncatchable. Just the level of talent is just unreal. It's insane. But at the same time, never know what can happen. I didn't expect to be able to place 15th at Amateur Worlds. I was kind of like, maybe I can get top 25. That's like the goal. Top 50 is like, my safer goal. But it worked out. Wow, Joseph, thank you so much for the 5. Appreciate it. Contributing to the goals for USDGC Doubles. Really appreciate the support and the encouragement. It's definitely a big event coming up, the next big one on my calendar. Get yourself a Red Bull on game day on me. All right, I will say specifically I won't drink an energy drink day of competition because I'm caffeine sensitive, but I will keep the spirit of that encouragement and I will get out there and get myself prepped and ready for the event. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah. It is it is funny because I have had an energy drink while competing and it's not a pretty sight. I start throwing wild shots, I lose my focus, I can't hit a putt anymore. So I actually have a very regulated caffeine intake. I have about 30 milligrams, 35 milligrams of caffeine a day. That's it. I cut myself off and that helps me stay focused on the disc golf course and stay competitive. And it has been good to have that balance. But I do like some good snacks out on the course to keep me fueled and focused out there. And as well, there's always Taco Bell. So really appreciate it, man. Yeah, we'll I'll keep that in mind. I'll remember you when I'm getting whatever it is to get myself ready for the USDGC Doubles event. We're definitely starting to prep for it. Brent and I are doing a doubles round tomorrow. It's at a different course, but we want to practice that kind of doubles format and get ourselves in that mindset of leaning on each other, helping each other, hyping each other up for success, hitting some long putts when one of us is safe and the other one can aggressively run it. So we're pretty excited for that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Joseph says, when you win, oh yeah, yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, we're going to do our best. Well, my brother and I we tied for 5th place last year. We were tied for first after round 1, but I really struggled at Winthrop, and it was a very intimidating course. I didn't feel quite ready for it, like I said. And my brother came in clutch on a lot of shots, but one player can only do so much. And we slipped back, I think, to 4th place. And then final round, we just slipped back to 5th and tied for 5th place. But even just seeing that and knowing that I've grown a lot as a player, a lot in my confidence, and some in my distance off the tee, I think that's going to be huge helping rolling into USDGC Doubles this year. And Brent has a killer forehand. My brother was left-hand backhand, so we had right-handed and left-handed working as a team, which is advantageous. and now Brent has a very good forehand and I don't. So that's going to be a good combo as well. So if we're both putting well, it could be a fantastic week. It could be a really fantastic tournament if both of us are hitting everything in the circle and a good percentage of circle two, even outside circle two putts. Could be really nice. Brent and I have had those days. We just have to hope that those days are October 3rd through 5th. I think 4th through 6th. I can't remember. It's the first week of October. Coming up soon. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we're doing our best. We're going to be prepped for it and ready. When it happens, we'll give it everything we've got. Whether we're in first place or 50th place after round one, we're going to do everything we can to stay ahead or catch up for the rest of the event. So I can promise that we will not place poorly because of lack of effort. It will be lack of talent, skill, and good fortunes. That will be the issue. All right, I'm going to run down and get my water because I need it. I am very much thirsty and my throat is drying up. So I'm going to run, get my water. I'll be back in 2 minutes, maybe less. Okay, I have returned. I have the water. All right. Much better. Goodness. Devin said, what state was this in? If you're referring to Amateur Worlds was in Missouri. If you're talking about the upcoming USDGC Doubles, that is in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So that's what I've been talking about preparing for with USDGC Doubles coming up, because it's going to be Camp Canaan and Winthrop, I believe, are the two courses, Winthrop University, for USDGC Doubles, and that is North Carolina, only about an hour from Charlotte, maybe even less from parts of Charlotte. And that one is coming up first week of October, coming up soon. It's like a month. It's in a month and a couple of days, which is kind of crazy because I just finished Amateur Worlds, and it's like, okay, in a month, another massive amateur event is coming soon. Then, of course, Amateur Worlds, like I said, was in Missouri, and that was Columbia, Missouri, and Jefferson City. Harmony Benz was in Columbia, as well as Albert Oakland, although that was the FA1 division that played. MA1 didn't play there. Then in Jefferson City, we had The Dam and Joseph C. Miller. So those four courses were used for Amateur Worlds. Harmony kind of being the most home course, I would say, of the four. The more central hub is where the final round was held as well. But yeah, that was a very cool experience. It was an intense week. Being filmed on Gatekeeper's channel was intimidating. It was stressful. Triple bogeyed hole 2, which is always exciting. But I fought back for a decent round, and I don't think that I embarrassed myself too badly, and I kept a good finish for the event. But yes, it was quite an experience. I've never competed in a 5-round event. I've only done 3 rounds at most up until now, and that was a lot. Just 5 days in a row going back to compete again. That was quite a bit. And then competing against 282 other players. It's like, goodness, like that's such a massive field. So many people out there competing. Like it's just crazy. It's just next level packed competition. and not all of them were anywhere close to the top after the first round. There were 2 pools. The pool was I don't know if I could even do research. I'm assuming that only a handful of people in the B pool for the first 2 rounds made the cut, the top 72 for the final round. And I'm sure a couple of people probably played great all week and made it up. But there were a lot of people, just by rating, that you could pretty much tell they weren't in this for a real shot at winning the event or taking top 10 or anything like that. I think everyone in the top 10 was rated over 955, if not over 960. But I'll have to double check that. So fact check me if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, that was pretty insane just to compete against that many people, and knowing that hundreds of people were out there every round was kind of crazy. Devin said was just looking online at the disc golf scene at Rock Hill, and there are some people I know from Maine going. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, both the USDGC Amateur Doubles is huge, and then of course USDGC, the event, the Pro Tour event, absolutely massive. And I think Amateur Doubles is first, USDGC is the week after, so it's like boom, boom. I think anyone who competes in Amateur Doubles gets a free VIP. I don't want to say VIP, free entry to USDGC for spectating. I'm not sure if that's what pass it is exactly, but that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's the following week. So if you're an amateur, a decent level amateur, and you qualified for amateur doubles, and you're up for a week and a half in South Carolina, you can stay in the area, watch USDGC as well as compete the week before. If you're really cheeky, you can get in the Monday qualifier the day after amateur doubles, which I'm planning to do as well. And I have no expectations for how that goes, but I'm interested to try and see, and just see what happens. And of course, if you're in the area, if you're near Charlotte, then there's tons of Charlotte courses that you can play. If you're not competing, when you're not spectating, there's tons to do disc golf wise. Another round with Joseph here as well. So there's just tons and tons to do. Doc says, beat Team Brent lies. You just have to look up the tournament on PDGA. Doc, you will see the truth in front of your eyes. Have they talked about the mystery box yet? Yes, I showed off all of the discs. I showed off the Scorch here, the Undertaker as well, which is, I think, probably one of my 3 favorite from the box. The Paige Pierce Passion, the Buzz, which is obviously nice. Every Buzz it's a Buzz, like it's great. Got the lightweight Thrasher, that clear one was sweet, yeah. Got the Raptor, which you can see not through, but is a little less opaque. We have the Chris Clemens. Got the Hayes as well, St. Jude stamped. And then Sagara, definitely one of the top 3 as well from the box. Double stamp Sagara, and I love the confetti flake in it. Very cool. And then another Passion. So I am interested in the Passions. I don't think that the Undertaker is a base plastic. I think that it is ESP. Maybe that's not the case, but I don't think it's base plastic. It's not crystal. It's not Z or whatever. What is? It's not a pro line. Yeah, definitely not. At worst, it feels like Star Plastic, which would be their ESP, right? Flex TI ESP Z. Yeah, it's not Z. It's not Jawbreaker. It's not Pro. It's not X. I don't think it's TI. I think it's just Z or ESP. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. It doesn't say. They never say. Dakota Batista says, how was playing in Missouri, and would you recommend any of those courses to beginner intermediate players? Great question. I would say Missouri was awesome. I would say the Dam is not an intermediate beginner friendly course, but there are a few holes that are, decently gettable. Some of the long ones are softer par fours, so it's not a horrible course for scoring, but it's a tough course. Joseph Miller has some tough holes. If you're not rated above 940, it's going to be a pretty tough course to score on. But Harmony has 3 tee pads, and the shortest tee pads, I would say, bring a good experience to the intermediate beginner players. And it's a course that's worth experiencing either way. It's a fantastic course. No matter the layout that you play, it is really cool to experience it. And the FA1 players played from the shorter tee pads, and I think that was a good, reasonable layout. And I think that's something that like MA3 players would be able to kind of keep up with for the most part, and probably have a pretty good experience. So, yeah, I would say, that Harmony is probably the best one with the multiple tee pad choices, and then maybe the Dam, just because it's not as technical, and when it is technical, it's less than 220 feet, versus Miller, which has some technical and long holes. Yeah, that'd be my impression. That would be my opinion on Missouri. Also played Albert Oakland, and I didn't think it was the best course. I thought it was just okay. Yeah. Great. God bless. Appreciate you swinging in for a few minutes. Doc says, thanks for going through them again, but still think Brent won, just not by score. Right. He won in our hearts while taking third place. Good for Brent. Doc says, I know mystery boxes need a list of each disc, plastic, etc. Yes, it's true. Even when I was making, because I posted the opening video, so if, I don't know, I just showed everybody, but if you want to see them for longer, you can watch my Ledgestone Mystery Box unboxing opening video. You can watch that, and I was considering doing like flight numbers and plastic for all of the discs, and then I was like, I don't know if I could even figure out some of these plastics because they kind of have the telltale signs of like I think this is a crystal plastics. I looked it up, but it took me like 5 minutes to establish. Okay, I'm pretty sure that it's the crystal plastic. Pretty sure. I think it would just take me too long. So it was, I was fine with just my own in the moment commentary of the discs that I got, and then the limited knowledge that I have informing what plastics they might be. Dakota says, let's go. Excited to try Harmony out. Yes. It's a top 50 course in the US, I think, or top 100 at least. And that's for good reason. Like, it's definitely high quality. And I would even suggest throwing some of the middle pads just to experience them, even if you play the shortest layout for the most part. And some of the shorts are still challenging shots, but I don't think unreasonable. I think it's going to be like calling you up to the next level of disc golf without being like, you can't do anything. Like, I think it's going to be a good experience for sure. Doc says, Dakota, hope you destroy the course. And Doc says, and I hope you're not the Dakota from Domino's last night that couldn't find my house. And Dakota says, not me. People cannot find my house lately. It's insane. Even the mailman, I think it was a substitute. I went to Walmart, covered my mailbox with my house number. Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, sometimes it's hard to see what property number is. I had to get like a sign, like a standalone sign with our address in Florida, because it was basically just unseeable from the road, and we didn't have a mailbox at our house. We had it down the road. So when like Amazon came to drop packages off, they were like, probably like, is it this one? This one? I have no idea. So we had to like nail a sign into the ground that had our address on it, made it easier to find. But yeah, sometimes it is not easy. Doc says, I have my house number very large above my door, so there's no excuse. Amazon does great. It's Walmart. Okay, so like grocery orders, I'm guessing. Getting your grocery orders from Walmart delivered. Very convenient. Yeah, that can be a bummer when people can't find your house. Not much you can do at that point. Put it all over your mailbox is a good idea at that point. Don't do grocery, but like items I need quick and free delivery, so why not? Gotcha. Interesting. Not getting groceries delivered, but like getting like clothing, shovels, like just random assorted fishing poles and stuff dropped off. I'm trying to think like, I don't know. My Walmart trip tends to be whatever I couldn't find at Aldi that week, and then shorts, maybe a pair of shoes, and just around the house items, cleaners, shovels, tools, like stuff like that. But even that, like usually I would prefer to go to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's for something of higher quality. So it really is kind of like a catch-all store where I'm like, I need a couple of little things, so I'll swing by Walmart to get them. Some clothing, sometimes dog food. Okay, dog and cat food. That's fair. Especially because don't you oh, especially if I need it for free shipping. Yeah. Dog and cat food is totally fair, especially because like pet stores are great and they do a great job of stocking everything for pets, but their food is very expensive. If your animals are not picky, you don't want to go get your pet food from the pet store, from Petco or whatever. That is so pricey. So that totally makes sense. Get yourself some pet food from Walmart. That's smart. Hey, Brent is back. So Brent missed all of the questions that I asked him and all of the discussion about how we're about to start preparing for USDGC Doubles, how we're playing a doubles round tomorrow to practice for an event this weekend at the course, Bradford, for our series finale, but also just getting more doubles in before amateur doubles is going to be good. Get yourself in that mindset. I asked you how you felt taking third place and how ashamed you were from your round yesterday, losing to me. Doc says, you suck at disc golf. That checks out. Doc says, no, you don't. Doc trying to hype up Brent, but Brent's the one who played. Brent's the one who played at Lake Courier and took third place. So I don't know what to tell you. Luke Mendelson says, "Hey, thanks for hopping on and joining us, Luke. Appreciate you being here, hanging out." Brad's just got himself to care for. Yes, Brent is a father, so valid excuse for missing a couple of shots. JD says, "What's up, dude? Appreciate you hopping on, JD, and swinging by to join us." Brent says, "Literally, it went badly." Yes, it did. It did. Everything went badly. The good shots didn't go as well as they could have. The bad shots went worse than they should have. Doc says, "Oh yeah, Brad, you're in Charlotte. Easy to find stuff that sells out quickly sometimes around here." I mean, yeah. But even when I was in Alachua, Gainesville area in Florida, that was mainly when I went to Aldi for almost everything. And it's like, okay, I need shampoo or a shovel. Like I'm going to Walmart for that stuff, but it just fills in the cracks. Like I'm not going to Walmart for everything. Like it's just the like random little what could I not find at Aldi, or what like random thing do I need this week? Do I need a bunch of Kleenexes and all these are like really poor quality? Okay, get a few Kleenex boxes from Walmart. But there's always Amazon, so if you need stuff from Amazon, same thing as ordering from Walmart, depending on what you have for Prime or whatever. So it makes sense that you're going to snag some stuff online, have it delivered. It's definitely not unreasonable. But yeah, there's also like go to Home Depot and go get a handsaw if you need it. Okay. Brent says there is no excuse. As long as you play better at USDGC doubles. Doc says, I can come up with 50 for you by next week, Brent. Oh, there you go. Doc being a real pal. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Every once in a while, the chat scrolling is just terrible. Brent says, I think I lost at least 4 strokes to awful luck. I would say that's probably true. I would say most of mine was bad putting. And then maybe two strokes to bad luck. I had a couple of shots that were good and they got just screwed over, or weren't bad but got awful reactions. But for the most part, I wasn't struggling with terrible luck. I had a few actually lucky shots, give myself easier pars than I should have had, and one of them was a tap in birdie that could have hit a branch. So my experience was better. Luke says, got a leopard 3 in a heat. Loved leopard 3s, throwing like a rope for me, right hand, forehand. There you go. My first of many disc purchases, I'm sure. Yes, that is how it goes. But that's great, though. Yes, leopard 3 is fantastic. Heat is a good choice. Brent throws leopard 3 a lot. Quite a bit, I should say. Doc says, sweet Luke. Luke says, Aldi is the go-to grocery store for the price. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Aldi is the best. Price is fantastic. You can get almost everything you need there. And then what you can't, go to Walmart. Random Suit Guy says, do you think turbo putt should be PDGA legal? Are you talking about the disc or the throwing form? Are you talking about the disc turbo putt? Oh, no, it's not round. So it depends on what you mean by should it be. If the question is should it be an exception, it's like, no, it clearly doesn't fit the specifications. Should the specifications change? Maybe, but I think there's decent reason for the PDGA specifications to be somewhat what they are. And if you adjust it too much, you can start to get some ridiculous things, some more dangerous shaped discs that could do more damage to people. I don't know. I just don't think that it needs to, like, I just don't know about needing stuff like that for tournaments. Like, if it's fun, it's fun. Like, get yourself a turbo putt disc, get yourself a Doomsday Oxymoron, like, grab whatever you want for fun. But I totally understand there being a different standard for competitive play and different specifications for it, more limited. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's important. I'll put it that way. I don't think it's that important. Doc says yes, they had it legal and then other companies made them change their mind. Maybe. JD says, what are the stipulations to going pro? Seems like you're pretty close to it. So going pro is very easy if you, I think you can just classify yourself as a pro and pay the professional membership. But I don't know if you can technically do that without accepting money. But if you do accept cash, you're classified as a pro, just like that. Hey, Blaze coming in with $15 for 15th place. Congrats. I'll send those discs to you soon. Thank you, Blaze. Man, I should have finished in 280th place. That would have been so much better. Blaze would have sent me way more money. Really appreciate it, Blaze. Thanks, man, for the shout out. Such a great friend. And sending me some discs, which I'm excited about. A couple of discs to throw. Very, very cool. Yeah, really, really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Give that thumbs up to Blaze's donation. What a legend. Yeah, so technically speaking, for going pro, all you have to do is play in MPO and accept cash, and then you are a professional disc golfer. Obviously, it's a different thing from being on the pro tour, a totally different level of pro, quote unquote. But there are so many people in that in between where they have accepted cash, they've made thousands of dollars in prize money from competing in disc golf, but they're not really close to the Pro Tour, or they're somewhat close, but if they played on the Pro Tour, they would almost never cash. So there are tons of people in that in-between area of bouncing around to A tiers and B tiers, cashing at almost every event, making decent money playing the sport, but not making it on the Pro Tour. So those are kind of my shorter term goals to kind of start to step into that space. I don't expect to be like making tons and tons of money, but with amateur events and players packs, I'm definitely at the level where I don't need like a random players pack disc. Even the world's discs, like the players pack discs from Am Worlds, a couple of these are maybe cool for the channel because I can do some type of fun content for a new disc. And I love, what these are and everything. But I just don't need like to pick up 8 discs every tournament, every A tier. I don't need a scorch. Like this is for decoration. I just, I have so many discs. I would rather get $40 if I'm playing decently. That would be more advantageous for me. I guess that'd be for a small tournament, but anyway. Yeah, so long story short, that is all you technically need to do. So we'll see what happens. I'll step into MPO. I might barely make anything. I might be like, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, this is totally worth it. At the end of last year, I turned down $110 for winning a small tournament in Florida, MPO. And then in the Charlotte Roar Open, I took 6th place, turned down $150. And I started to think, what am I doing? These amateur summer events better be worth waiting for. I think they were because Amateur Worlds went so well for me, but it was a long time to be like, could I be making decent money in MPO? So I'm excited to see what it looks like. I'm going to jump right in with both feet. I know I'm not going to start just shredding MPO in Charlotte, but it'll be cool to fully experience that level of competition and hopefully cash sometimes and get some decent money. I'm excited. Doc says, also, Luke may introduce you to discount discs. Doc says, my issue with Aldi, I don't like to drive. That's driving. You drive everywhere. Maybe you don't. Maybe Doc doesn't drive. Big disc golf. What? Big disc golf done? Got to Brad? Oh, big. I got you because I don't care about the turbo putt discs. Yeah, I don't know. Paulo Flores says you should make it in the bag. I plan to, and I probably would have. Well, first of all, I have done it in the bag, so I have one from January that you can check out, but it's outdated. I have a lot of different discs in there. I have dropped some. I've lost some discs. I've dropped some discs out of the bag. I put new ones in, so that is old. It's not as fresh. But I am planning another in the bag, a 2025 part 2 for in the bag, coming fairly soon. Unfortunately, with all of my traveling, my video editing time has been very limited. I have 3 videos, practice rounds that I took prepping for Amateur Worlds, which I'm working on. I did my unboxing video of the Ledgestone discs. I'm filming a video tomorrow. I have a bag swap with Blaze that I filmed 2 months ago, a while ago, that I haven't even touched, etc., etc. Excuse. Coming pretty soon. Updated in the bag will be happening. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Doc says, Paulo, Taco, Brave, Warden, that's his bag. Oh, and the Echo. Nice plate collection, says Harry. Oh, never mind. Yes, these are all disc golf discs. So I always gamble what I'm grabbing. This one's a Captain. I actually haven't thrown it. I found it just buried under some mud in Florida. But yeah, these are all disc golf discs. They all fly a little bit differently from each other, but very different than frisbees. Disc golf discs, frisbees, really not like, obviously they're round and you throw them, but they fly totally different weight distribution, etc., etc. So very much a different thing. Blaze says, sending Raptor Eye Rive. I'm very interested in. Orange and Blue Swirl Brave, which captures my heart, and several other fun ones. Sounds very good. I better do a video on it. Oh gosh, I just talked about how many videos I have to edit and that I'm filming and have filmed. Ugh. Luke says, have a Kestrel starter pack that I started with. Still using that for mid-end putter. Interesting. Doc says, Brad, I've heard rumblings that the discs players packs are kind of going away. What have you noticed? No, I have not noticed that in big amateur events, both amateur majors of the year, we got a ton of discs. So I haven't noticed that. Then for local events, I have seen Nolan doesn't do like amateur players pack with discs. He does amateur. Yeah, I'm saying things weird. Instead of having like a players pack, he has merchandise payout for all of his events, and you can buy the players pack if you want to pay more. So his events are actually cheaper than a lot of other C-tier tournaments because he's not building that players pack cost in and offering that merchandise credit for placements. So I think that he kind of has it right because his system benefits him well, and it doesn't just churn out semi-useless plastic to 80% of the field. I found some players pack discs that were great, but I don't think I have any more in the bag. And I don't think I any longer bag a disc I got in a players pack from a tournament. Yeah. So that's a little bit of what I've seen, but bigger events are still giving out, like the Charlotte Amateur Championship gave us a bunch of discs. And both amateur majors gave us a bunch of discs. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Luke says, your mid is an overstable 4-speed. Interesting. I'm guessing it's like a 4402. Oh gosh, Doc. Doc is trying to introduce Luke to the shoe. I'll give you a great little crash course on the shoe. Here are two of the plastics, the Dragon plastic and the Phoenix plastic. Phoenix is the higher quality plastic. Dragon plastic is flippier. It feels like a Stingray. The rim is awkward for a lot of people. A lot of people say they don't like the shape of the rim because it's deep and thin. It's not a wide rim. It is gently flippy. If you throw really hard, it'll turn over a lot. But if you don't, it's really not going to be flippy at all. And it is a decent mid-range. If you don't throw very far, I would recommend the Soul over the shoe. If you do throw pretty far, I would recommend the Echo, Buzz SS, Buzz, something like that over the shoe. But it's a fun, interesting disc. And cheap. It's true. If you want a bunch of them, it's very cheap. Okay. Have I ever played courses in Virginia? I have not. I have not played anything in Virginia. I'm trying to remember what the big courses in Virginia are. When I spent some time in Virginia, I wasn't playing disc golf at all. Brent would know more about Virginia disc golf than I would. I have not. Do you like base or premium more? So I would say drivers have to be premium. Personally, for me. If you're throwing like a lightweight base plastic leopard, like that makes total sense. You know, whatever throws far for you, that's great. I can't throw base plastic drivers because if I hit a tree, they never fly the same. They'll be totally useless. So I'm throwing premium quality, premium plastic drivers and mid ranges, and then most of my upshot discs are also premium plastic. I putt with base plastic because I feel like that's the best grip, and I throw 2 base plastic putters because I don't mind if they get kind of beat up. I'm not throwing full strength. I'm not throwing and just absolutely bashing them into trees. And in some ways, I kind of want them to be a little flippy too. So I can just throw, like I have a key and it just holds a little bit of turn and drift the whole flight. That's what I want. So base plastic is okay for putters. When you move up to faster speed and you're hitting things harder, you really don't want base plastic long term. But at first, base plastic is great. Lightweight stuff, Valkyries, lightweight, leopards, those are great. Um, Doc saying a bunch of things, saying things weird and wearing off on you as he misspells wearing off. That's my fault for spending so much time around Doc. Doc says, I think back in the day, players pack discs were good because pros would sell them to make a bit of extra cash. It's just hard because like after you give out, like if you run regular tournaments, once you give out a couple of neutral mid ranges and drivers, like you're just repeating, or you're like, here's something super flippy that no one in the pro divisions wants to touch. Well, maybe age protected pro. And then they're like, oh, here's something super overstable that 60 to 80% of our players aren't going to be able to use. So it's like, do you do putters? No, people are locked into the putters that they like. So it's hard to do a disc for everyone, and it's more expensive if you want to have four options and have a ballista, sapphire, sheriff, whatever. I'm thinking of Chain Hawk Open. Yeah, it's tricky, and yeah, it just depends. I like the way Nolan does things because just by competing and playing okay, you can build up merchandise credit and you can trade in discs and go through his used discs or new discs. And, just by playing a few tournaments, you can find yourself with 30, 40, $50 in merchandise credit, get yourself a t-shirt, get yourself a cool new disc. So he does a great thing. Luke says, that's why I'm leaning premium, mostly courses that knock my discs to lies. The tree is doing it to me. Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's totally fair. And that is one of the best ways to handle the woods is premium discs and give up a little bit of distance for accuracy. LSA, what's up? Didn't get a chance to play because of weather. 40 miles per hour winds. Ooh, did play pickleball. Guess the problem sometimes with disc golf is it's weather dependent. Yes, it is. Very much is. Ooh, Luke says Cannon Ridge is the #1 course in Virginia, 9 minutes away. Oh, you're in a lucky spot. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I haven't played it, but now it's on the list just because you mentioned it. Ellis says, oh, Doc says, next time it's windy, grab a lightweight Rolo and just laugh. Yeah. Ellis says, or my function. All right. I have to use the restroom. I'm going to be back in 4 minutes. I will return. Okay, I have returned. Doc says the lucky spot, you got 8 courses 10 minutes away. Yeah, I'm saying for Virginia, it's a lucky spot to be 9 minutes from the #1 course. Not for the United States, he's luckier than me. I'm not playing a comparison game or anything like that. I'm saying that, yeah, well, if you're in Virginia, to be 10 minutes away from the #1 course is lucky. Like, that's great. It's like saying, yeah, I'm from Michigan and I'm 5 minutes from Toboggan, and be like, that, you're so, well, Toboggan is not up most of the year. Renegade's Trail being the #2 course, and be like, oh, that's 5 minutes away. It's like, oh, that's a lucky spot. Doug says, Brad's gone, let's badmouth his disc collection. I heard he's got a square disc. I do have a square disc. And it flies weird. I don't know if you saw the video I put out, the short I put out. I know Doc did. It is a very wonky flight, and I almost want to say it's a better catch disc than a throwing disc, but it's square and it's not a catch disc. Like, it's not made for grabbing out of the air, for sure. But it is a very interesting disc. It almost like makes itself nose up and stalls itself out as it turns over and then dives to the ground. It's a very wonky. It's like a reverse boomerang. Well, not reverse, but a boomerang you throw overhand and it curves around. This is like you throw a backhand and it's just like like it doesn't try to come back, but it's like it tries to not go away from you. Yeah. Brent says Brad is going down tomorrow. Brent, I thought we were playing as a doubles team. What are you talking about? If I go down, we're going down together. You could beat him just throwing the pixel. Not at Bradford. Don't think so. Maybe at maybe at Bailey. If you're just using a pixel, you'd have a chance. Pray for you, Brent, but I doubt you need it. Wow. Could probably just use a groove. Highly doubt it. Doc says, I saw a video, saw someone who was throwing it pretty well. I think it was Bedanza. Well, I don't understand what grip was used or how it was thrown, because I had a couple of people throw out forehand, backhand, roller angle, tomahawk, and it just didn't, like, it doesn't go anywhere. It just stops itself from flying and kind of helicopters to the ground. Like, it's kind of wonky. It's fun, but it's not for distance, for sure. Doc says, hey, Brent, if you have to lose to take Brad down, do what you have to do. Wow. I just can't imagine wishing ruin and sadness on someone else like Brent, like Doc does to me. So sad. Such a sad, sad life. Maybe it's a new type of mold, different discs do differently. Are you saying because the oxymoron is a new mold, they're all just going to be different from each other? All of the oxymorons? I would think because there are so few of them, they all are going to be the same. They're all going to be the same mold. They should be more similar to each other because you don't have multiple runs of oxymoron that would do different things. They're all going to be like from the same batch. They're all going to be like octuplets. Not going to be consistent because of newness? I don't know. I would think they would all be super similar to each other because they're all from the same batch. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not getting it. Is it supposed to be stable? Because this is like the flippiest disc ever. If it didn't nose itself up, it would just spin in circles through the air. Like, it's so flippy. It's crazy. Let me see if the oxymoron has flight numbers. Oop. The disc will probably require a new flight number that measures the lift, as it has a tendency to rise upward when spinning. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I was saying. It lifts itself nose up while it's spinning. Thus, we'll say the disc has these numbers: 7 speed, 1 glide, 3 lift, -2 turn, 2 fade. That's basically what I was describing. Yeah, I was saying it doesn't it slows itself down, 1 glide. It stops itself from flying. That's the 1 glide. It lifts itself up and it's super flippy. I would say it's probably more like a -3 turn and a 1 fade or something, but maybe the nose up. I don't know. But otherwise, it's exactly what I was describing. I was saying you throw it goes and then dives down to the right. And that's what they're describing with these flight numbers and with the description on their own website. It's unpredictable. It is a novelty disc and you accept all responsibility for its use. It is not designed for sanctioned play or serious competition. Yes. Throw away from people, pets, and fragile realities. That's very good. Very good. Logan Max says, hello. Thanks for hopping on and joining us, Logan. Doc says, if you get bored, check this video out, Bonanza. I will. I saw a short about it, but I don't watch too many other disc golf creators. Doc says, hey, Logan. Logan says, going tomorrow, first time in like a week. Nice. Hope it's a great round. Tear up the course. Have a good time. I have played a lot in the last few weeks, so I'm like the opposite. I took a break today, and I was like, my body was like, oh, it's about time. I've either been traveling, I've either been playing around and putting 250 times, competing, traveling, practicing for Am Worlds, competing in Am Worlds, traveling, prepping for a tournament, competing, or today, not playing disc golf for the first time, I think, that I wasn't in a car for 11 hours plus. The first time in 2 weeks that I'm not playing disc golf. Maybe a little more. Brent says disc golf sucks. Usually shoot 5 down at the course you're going to. All right, Logan. Shoot 6 down. Tear it up. Doc says, might go tomorrow after oil change if the course is not too crowded. There you go. Doc says, Brent, no, don't let Brad turn you off of disc golf. That's ridiculous. I'm the reason that Brent plays as much as he does. I get him out there on the course and make sure that he gets in tournaments, because otherwise he would just sit on the couch, do nothing. That's not true. Brent invited me to play disc golf tomorrow, so it goes both ways. Doc says, Brent, come play around with me. When you beat me by 50, you'll feel better. Brent loves disc golf. He can't fool anybody. Logan says, I've been seeing all the Amateur Worlds practice videos. Been killing it. Yeah, thank you. It went pretty well, and I have some actual full practice round videos filmed. Well, one of them is mostly edited. I'm excited to drop those. And then, of course, the shorts, I've been able to throw some of those out. But yeah, if you really want extra entertainment, watch Gatekeeper Media coverage of round 2 of Am Worlds, where I made lead card and, to spoil it, triple bogeyed hole 2 on coverage. So go enjoy that. That was great. Doc says, LOL, I love it. Logan says, best is -9, so goal is 10 down. All right. -9. Okay. Yeah, 10 down, always the goal to beat that PR, or to get the new PR, I should say. But also, depending on weather, how you're feeling, if you're working on certain parts of your game, it can be rewarding just to hit a few good putts, just to compete well. Or not compete well. But to play well against yourself can be its own reward. But I'm hoping for a 10 down for you. Doc says 300, 400 feet from under 15. I'm like, geez, yeah, some of the kids out there are insane. Even at Am Worlds, Vaughn, 17 years old, tied for 4th place. And I'm like, geez, this kid's insane. I know I think, did she win? Therese for FA1 was like 16 as well. Some youngins who are very good. Logan says, let's go. Lead card is sick. It was awesome. It was very exciting. It was unfortunate that I was on coverage for my worst round of the event. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm not sad. But it was really cool. It was a great experience. If I hadn't triple bogeyed that hole, I would have played a fine round. It wouldn't have been impressive or anything, but it would have been just fine. But that triple bogey was a killer. Like it just, ouch. Was hard to fight back from. Put it that way. Hey, Renee's back. Thanks for hopping on. Ganonbur's only 19. I think he's 20. But yeah, he was winning, I think, USDGC at 17. He was a minor when he was winning on the Pro Tour, and I think his first major was... now I'm getting my facts confused. I think Ganonbur won a major while still a minor, which is ironic. But yes, he's 20, and he's been killing it as a very young adult and was destroying as a teenager. Yeah, crazy talent. Doc says, was a kid like 12 on a podcast and his mental game was almost as sick as his throwing game. That's good. Usually that's what's lacking for the young players is their mental game is they either have been trained to expect way too much of themselves and they're either a rage monster when they don't execute or they're really like despondent for not being consistently 1050 rated. And it's like, okay, like, come on, dude, you're insanely good. Like, get your head on straight. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. Or they're super arrogant because they know they're good for their age and they have no respect for like adults and people who have lived and experienced more of life and maybe have life circumstances that don't let them devote their lives to disc golf and they're insufferable. So it's very refreshing for me when I meet someone like Vaughn, who is neither of those things, extremely talented and extremely humble, a reasonable, realistic person, and just an overall encouraging glimpse of the future of our sport. Really cool. So shout out Vaughn. Such a legend. Logan says, right, super young still. Him and Anthony Barella. Yes, they're super young. Even Isaac is pretty young. I think he's only 24. But yes, some very young players on the Pro Tour who are very talented. Cole Rodollin's pretty young as well still. And it's cool to see their attitudes. Some of the Christian players who have great attitudes and play really well have been an encouragement to me. And then you see young players who are humble and who are going out there playing their best and succeeding against some of the goats in the sport and respecting them and being honored to beat them is really cool to see. Instead of seeing them just come up and like win and talk bad about, you know, the past legends, to hear them speak well of them and respect them and be like, I've dreamed of playing on lead card with so and so. Like that's always cool to see. It's your boy Trev says, what's up, buddy? Just stopping in to say congrats on Worlds. 15th is amazing. Thank you. That's what happens when you have a great putt like yourself. Yes, I appreciate that. And I will say that the putting practice paid off. I missed one circle, one putt for the first 4 rounds of the event, one each round, which, you know, not ideal to miss a C1 putt, but my putting percentage for the first 4 rounds was like 89, 90%. So I was very happy about that. Then final round, I missed a few more, but held it together, played fine, finished out in solo 15th. I was happy about that. But thank you very much. Yes, the putting was a huge part of the weekend to keep me in it and to hold me near the top of the competitive level at Worlds. Logan says, my buddy Zach Finwall has played professionally. He played with Gannon when he was like 14. He won the tournament. They played by 5. That's crazy. Yeah. Gannon has not always, he's been very long for a long time. And Renee's back. Awesome. Doc says, Brad, you say insufferable. Do you think being homeschooled might add to that, not being used to around other kids' society? No, I actually 100% don't think so. I think homeschooling is the exact opposite. I think that homeschooling, generally speaking, does a better job of socializing because kids spend not only a lot of time with other kids, but they spend a lot of time around adults, socializing with adults without being completely subordinate to them in a classroom. So with homeschoolers, you actually have kids who have gone to historical sites across the country, spoken to strangers with different accents, with different backgrounds, with different lives, spoken to tour guides and asked them questions, who have spent more time with more adult family members and siblings of their own age. So, no, I would say that actually homeschoolers tend to be better adjusted um, to social circumstances in society than people who go to public schools, who only talk to people who are their peers and then people that they are in forced obedience to who are staff members of the school. So the exact opposite, I would say, is the case. Doc says, okay, Brent, his putting is his strength. You got to find a way to make it his weakness. Yeah, my putt was bad on Saturday. Brent says, Doc, I watched Saturday. His putt was trash. Yeah. Uh, Putting was bad on Saturday. Not that bad. It was worse in my practice round. I had just done some workouts and played a lot of disc golf on Wednesday. So on Thursday, I go out to practice and I go to like warm my putt and I'm like, oh, that's not feeling like it wasn't injury. It was just soreness and tight. And I was like, that's not good. So I did a few putts and I was like, this ain't it. This is going to be a bad putting day. C1 putting percentage, 44%. It was atrocious. In tournament, I missed I missed 3 putts, so it was probably more like 70% better, but not great. But overall, in the last 2.5 weeks, my putt has felt very good. So I'm not worried at all. I'm gonna get some good warm up in, some good putting in to prep, but I have felt fantastic. I played on Wednesday. I played Valentine, which I'd never been before. I played it blind, missed 1 putt in the circle, and hit some crazy C2 putts to go 13 down, playing for the first time. And then I rolled over into Renski League, which was a 2 mold challenge, and I took 2 Echoes and 3 Wardens with me. And my doubles partner hit several of our circle 1 putts, but I didn't miss a putt in the circle when I was putting, and I hit a nice circle 2 putt as well. So it was a very just consistent, solid day of everything, and I'm still feeling like I have that putt. Like I've gotten that putt, worked on it, figured it out, practiced it, repeated it, and putting feels very strong. So I have no concerns. Doc says, speak to strangers, no thanks, almost as bad as driving. Driving is not hard. I drive in Charlotte and it's terrible, but it's not bad. Not to mention I drove 13 hours to Missouri. Turtle Dan says, how's it going, man? It's going good. Had a good time at Amateur Worlds. Glad that I'm back home, but it was quite an experience. It was like 2 weeks almost that I was gone for traveling, practicing, competing, traveling back, finally settling back into a normal schedule this week, hopefully. That would be great to get back to normal. Got back, competed in a match play event that I ended up winning, played in league, played a new course, practiced for a tournament, played in the tournament yesterday, didn't do great, but played above my rating. It's just everything's feeling pretty good. Like I'm feeling really good now, which probably means that I'm gonna get sick this week. Yeah, probably. And it's probably gonna be Brent that gives me something. Yeah, probably gonna barf. Doc says Brent he's having arm issues. Maybe a stray putt hits his arm. Who knows? Doc says me grab some black discs, black clothes, black shoes, and waits at Brad's course. JK would have to drive to do that. Yeah. As far as I've heard from you, you'd be throwing a dragon at me, so I'm not worried about the speed that's coming out of your hand or a dragon hitting me. Oh, my tab crashed. Why is this happening so much? So annoying. Doc said something. Has anybody been watching the CCR coverage? I played that event last year in MA1. And now that I'm logging back into YouTube, I see that coverage is dropping for the pro side. But I got to play Renegade's Trail and River's Edge last year. Did not play well. Doc says, LOL, Brad, that's me doing great. Sickness is like, hey, buddy. Yeah, that's about right. That's exactly what happens. Everything's going, bam, you're thrown up in the toilet. No, I'm feeling pretty solid about things. Oh, and for everyone's edification, one day he'll find his love of dragons. I have a dragon, not finding it. I do like Aragon, so I do like dragons, but not the kinds that you throw. For everyone's experience, although I prefer if you actually watch the unboxing video of the Ledgestone Mystery Box, I got myself a Scorch, got a Passion, got a Buzz, got a Tour Series 2022 Tour Series Thrasher, Raptor, Chris Clemens Zone, Hades, St. Jude Stamp Hades, double stamped Confetti Flake Sagara, which I'm excited to throw, and another Passion, so 2 Passions. Ooh, and an Undertaker, which Doc is complaining about, but I think is one of the better discs for me in this stack for my mystery box. There is always a grand prize with these mystery boxes. My grand prize was 2 misprint Ledgestone discs. Solid, one of them's a Passion, the other one's a Sagara, so actually they're discs that I want. But one of the lower value grand prizes, so it's like not a disappointment, but it's like, didn't win something awesome. Honestly, how I worked 18 years without a sick day, my body breaks down on days I'm off. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. Bradley just wants to throw Wardens. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, can't hate on Wardens. It's true. Honestly, it's not a disc that I hate on. Some I don't care for, but we're all different. I just thought it looked base. I'm sorry. I don't know. Doc's hating on the Undertaker. Sounds like he hates it. Doc says, Brad did a mystery box. My grand prize. The shoes, really like them. That's a good get. Yeah, the shoes are great. I ended up with Merrill shoes, and my one complaint is that they have great T-pad grip, bad like wet roots or wooden bridge, like walking on steps, wooden steps. The grip is bad. It's slippery and stuff like that. So I've slipped multiple times in the last few months since I switched shoes on things that I've never like slipped on before. So multiple old man style falls on the disc golf course for me. Steven says hello. Thanks for hopping in, Steven. Joining us again, still at work or just maybe just checking in. Appreciate you swinging by. Doc says, LOL, Merrill liked so much, immediately bought a few more pairs, but you know, I don't get out in the rain because of the knee leg. Yes. And if you're not out in the rain, I would say fantastic. And even in the rain, they hold up okay against getting wet because I don't think they're waterproof, but they do a pretty good job of water resistance. So mostly good things about the shoes, sorry. The Merrill shoes, mostly good. And of course, I got mine for US Amateurs in the Players Pack. That's great. Like, it's an awesome Players Pack item because the tournament was like 175 and the shoes are over $100 value. So like I was pretty happy about that. But yes, Steven says, just left. How are you? Oh, work. Doing great. Myself, back from Am Worlds. Played fine in my tournament yesterday. Second place. Beat Brent, so that's a good thing. Played just above my rating. Didn't putt well, but didn't putt terrible. Yeah, just hanging out, having a good time. Getting a little bit tired. Getting thirsty. Getting a little bit hungry. Doc says Steven is doing great till Brent beats him tomorrow. Down to his knees. Again, I'm pretty sure Brent and I are playing on a doubles team. Like, we're doing best shot doubles. So I don't know how Brent's going to beat me tomorrow. We're on a team. Time for Taco Bell? Ooh. No Taco Bell for me tonight, but maybe tomorrow after the round. Get this. I finish a tournament. Brent says, hey, we should get food with... And Brent's like, it's the four of us. One of his buddies, his wife, at 5, I guess, including his son. And he's like, oh, you want to join us? We should get food. And I was like, yeah. You want Taco Bell? And they're like, no. And I was like, can you believe it? I think I'm going to disown Brent. Once our USDGC doubles is done, I'm going to like cut him off from my life, go enjoy Taco Bell by myself. And just so shameful. So shameful. Steven says, poor Brent. How dare he have a family? Yeah, I know, right? It's so selfish. No, Brent does like Taco Bell. We actually, that's the other thing I asked you, Brent. He's probably gone now. Is I asked you what pizza we had. And I was like, I'm never going to remember exactly what it was called, but it was very good pizza. It has like a little bit of honey on it and a couple different cheeses and tomato. Like, it's very good. Brent is here. Okay, good. Yes, what pizza did we have? It was very delicious. I also need to eat the leftover nacho fries, which turned out to be massive and have way too many jalapenos on it. But that's going to be late dinner for me after the stream. It was reasonable not to go to Taco Bell, but it was still disappointing. But Brent does like Taco Bell, so not all hope is lost. I'm feeling it a little bit. Just a little bit of, ooh. There we go. A little bit of a headache going on. I think I am starting to get pretty hungry. Taco Bell got rid of fries. Why? Great question. Great question. They had them, they got rid of them, they got them back. They got rid of them. Will they come back permanently? Will they always be just a temporary thing? Who knows? But what I do know is they're bringing back the 7-layer burrito and an assortment of other, what do they call it? They're doing like a Y2K menu. So like old item, menu items from a long time ago that they're bringing back. I'm excited for that. I am going to be enjoying that. And just in time for my birthday. All right. Brent says prosciutto, cotto smoked mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, sun-dried tomato, fresh garlic, hot honey, pecorino, and fresh parsley. Copy and pasted from the menu. So that's the pizza that we had. Prosciutto. It was good pizza. The honey really brought it all together, and it tasted really good. It was really good. Although I prefer cheese pizza myself. Doc says I want a Nacho Bel Grande with fries instead of chips. Yes. That's fair. That's fair. And he would rather have Taco Bell? Usually, yes. But sometimes I want a pizza. This is your misunderstanding of me, Doc. You, for some reason, have gotten the impression that no matter what food item it is, I would rather eat Taco Bell than it. That's not the case. Taco Bell reigns supreme, not because it is always better than all other food always, because sometimes I really want a great pizza. I'm not going to go to Taco Bell, get a pizza. Or if I want authentic Mexican food at Lopez Taco House in Albion, Michigan, I'm not going to go to Taco Bell. It is just that the mainstay, fantastic quality and decent price point of Taco Bell reigns supreme, like a beefy 5-layer burrito, and it's fantastic. So usually I'm like, yeah, Taco Bell's the place, especially when a pizza is $18. Just say it. Prosciutto is how it's said? Okay, nice. Prosciutto. That's better than prosciutto. You can't disown Brent. You need him for ace runs on your videos. That's true. I do need Brent for that. That's very true. That is very true. Thank you, Steven, for keeping me grounded. Doc says, Mom used to like taco pizza from Taco Bell. Not bad, just prefer the nachos. The joke is funnier that you only want Taco Bell, so that's what we're going with. Do a poll, let's see. What poll? Do I, like, if I only want Taco Bell? What are you saying? Explain the poll. I don't understand what you're saying. It's funny because the joke my whole life has been how much I love Taco Bell, but I don't go that often. Like on a road trip, I'll eat Taco Bell for every stop, every dinner, every meal, but then I won't eat Taco Bell for like 4 weeks. And then I'll travel and be like, I'm getting Taco Bell, and people are like, man, you're always getting Taco Bell. And I'm like, it's been a month. Like, I don't get it every week. I don't get it all the time. And in fact, I don't eat out very often. I'm usually making my dinners for the entire week and rolling that over. But when I travel 3 times a summer and I post about every trip that I take, then you guys are like, "Oh, you eat Taco Bell all the time." Yeah, not really. Too tired to come up with a poll. Sorry. All right. This will be the poll. If this is not the easiest poll on the planet Earth, and we have a no. All right. Thanks, Brent, for that one. I can't believe it. Doc says, today crushed me. Stupid machines at work were such brads. Hey, G-Key says, what's going on? Thanks for hopping by, man. Are you editing tonight? What are you doing? Doc says, dang, should have done no. Stupid. Brent says, always need to make the right choice. All right, we got 2/3 yes. That's good. The immediate no is the most brain dead answer I've ever seen. Although, again, every once in a while, I want a really great pizza. Or tomorrow, I'm making cheeseburger soup. That's going to last me the whole week. I'm very excited for that. That's going to be a really delightful week of dinners. I don't think I'm going to be eating that and thinking, I wish I had Taco Bell. I'm just be enjoying what I have. Brent says he called me brain dead. Not the first time. Jiki says, I just suggested the emails we were talking about to my friend. Still up for the ones we talked about? Yeah, I think so. Maybe send me the list one more time to confirm. But yeah, I'm interested. Yes, that is my answer. Doc says, I failed you, Brent. Me throws his dragon in the water. Brent says, did you hear that? Well, yeah, of course. It's a brain dead answer to say that I don't want Taco Bell. I'm not afraid to call out my doubles partner. Doc says, by day 5, I think I would want Taco Bell. I try to do the same food every day, but I just get tired of it. I'll make a crock pot of cowboy beans, which I did for Amateur Worlds. I made a crock pot of cowboy beans, which is like 6 type of bean, beef, liquid smoke, barbecue sauce, ketchup, onion. Yeah, it's delicious. I ate it for 7 days straight. Then I rolled over, made enchiladas, ate them for 5 days straight. I'll make baked ranch chicken 5, 6 days in a row. Then I'll do cheeseburger soup 7 days in a row. So good. It's so good. I don't know how you could get tired of eating cheeseburger soup. It's just so delicious. Every morning, breakfast sandwich, bagel, egg, ham and cheese sandwich. Um, I don't know. If you make something good enough, how could you get tired of it? Doesn't make sense. Okay, Jiki says, disc 3 out of 4, disc basket, air disruption, birdie, the sip the soup, team Brad, team Brent. Okay. Let's maybe not do the air disruption. Doc says, hey, it's cool. You do you. I'm saying I wish I could. If you weren't so weak. No, just kidding. If you were stronger. there are foods that I eat and I get tired of eating. Hot dogs, spaghetti. If I eat more than a little bit, like I'm like, I don't want to keep eating this food. There are foods like that, but not the ones that I just listed for my meals. Morg says, I heart breakfast. Oh gosh. Yes, breakfast is great. And breakfast sandwiches are fantastic. I make my delightful bagel, egg, ham and cheese sandwich every day. A little egg patty. It's delicious. And it's a great little boost of protein. Gets the day started well. If you're absolutely starving, you can add a bowl of cereal on the side if you want to. But otherwise, it's carried me through a lot of tournaments, through a lot of rounds of disc golf. It's the way to go. Doc says, oh, now spaghetti I'll eat for supper. Throw some in the fridge for breakfast. Breakfast. It's just one of those meals specifically where if I keep eating that meal, and even if I eat a lot of spaghetti for a meal, I just get tired of eating spaghetti. The exception would be like Fazoli's spaghetti is very good. But I would rather get their baked lasagna anyway. But yeah, spaghetti is just one of those things like hot dogs where it's like, if I eat a hot dog, great, the hot dog was great. If I eat a second hot dog, I'm like, why am I eating another one? And I eat a third of it. I just don't. No thanks. Too much. Too many. Let's see. Upcoming. We have the Point Series finale at Bradford this weekend, Sunday. We will be competing for somewhere around $350. I don't know if that's pretty common, the amount for the finale. It's unsanctioned, just to put that out there. Unsanctioned, but it should be $300 to $350, roughly speaking, for MA1. And I managed to beat Brent in the last Point Series finale by hitting my birdie putt on the final hole to win by 1. And Brent, no worries, took home $250. He was just fine. But that 350 was really, really nice. It was really fun to manage that. So I'd love a repeat performance for the Point Series finale. It's 2 rounds of Bradford, which I think both Brent and I play pretty strong games at Bradford. So either of us have a decent shot of competing well in the championship. And Prince married, he didn't take no money home. It's called a team effort. Like, it's taking money home. Money doesn't just vanish. Like, you spend it on something. Spending on your family is still getting money and spending it on family. Have you tried a Hardee's hot dog? No, I don't hate myself. I wouldn't go to Hardee's for food. Their bathroom. Brent's married. He didn't take no money home. Oh, I read that. Named after him sounds unfair to Brent. What? Brent says my wife doesn't spend money. There you go. Mark says, I don't know. My money seems to vanish. It can happen. It can happen. Doc says, wow, Brent, never let her go. Steven wants to play at Bradford. Yes, Bradford is a great course. And it's been a little bit too long since I've been. Jiki's money vanishes into my pocket too. Kind of weird. Interesting. Doc says, how dare you? Oh, sorry for yelling. And somebody likes Hardee's. Interesting. Oh, Bradford is named after me. I see. Yes. Although I think I was named before Bradford was. I'm not sure about that. 30 years? 29? I'm not sure. I don't think Bradford's that old, but it could be. There are older courses in the Charlotte area for sure. I just didn't think Bradford was that old. Morg hates beards, no offense. How important is that to the integrity of your emotes? I know it's somewhat recent addition. It is a permanent upgrade. So the beard's gonna stay. Yeah, I would say beard is kind of important, but it can be a very short, like, it doesn't have to be like a really bushy beard at all. It can be like scruffy, smaller, shorter. That would be fine. So no need to like emphasize so much as acknowledge it, if that makes sense. Didn't feel like asking for permission. I thought it'd be funnier this way. Oh, it is. Work says, "Oh, why are you exposing me? I still draw the beard." Yes, it was funnier this way. Have had Hardee's hot dogs since I was smaller than a tick on a leaf. There you go, says Doc. Maybe that's why you like dragons. I'm just saying. Mork says, hashtag exposed. Bradford Park is definitely older than me. Maybe not the disc golf course. Good point. Good point. The park is probably older. That's a good point. Course. We'll see. I don't know. Can we see the age? Yeah, I would not be at all surprised if Bradford Park is like 50 years old or something. This is probably a waste of my time. I think looking it up would take forever, so I'm not going to do that. Parents named him after a disc golf park? Nope. Jiki says, do you hate drawing beards or can you just not do it? Works as both. Fire. The course is 2011. Okay, so 100% I'm older than the course. But the park, we'll just assume the park is way older. And Doc also supplying 2011. Nice. Hey, good teamwork. That's so cute. You guys work well together. Doc says, wait, me does math. Yeah, he's older. He's born in 1995. Good night. You don't even have to do math for that. It's a different century. I guess maybe Doc has to do math that the 20th century is before the 21st century. Count that out on your fingers. 83% of you saying yes, Brad wants Taco Bell, and Brent saying no. 19? Brad was actually born in 2012. Were dinosaurs around when you were born? I don't know. Did you own any? Because you probably had them growing up. Maybe you exterminated them. You would believe that? 2012? That's ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Also, kudos to any 11-year-old with this going on. Congrats. Oh, 13-year-old, sorry. I needed to do 2011, 2012, 25, 13. We all know Doc was born in 2000. 2000 and negative 50, maybe. Did have a pet turtle? They're kind of dinosaurs. He is a young man. No, who you're talking about. None of us are young. 79, don't mind being old. 79 years old or born in 79? Oh. Jiki says, you asked when I came in, I forgot. But yes, I'm editing, doing the part where I have to organize and cut every one of my clips in the last 3 weeks. So cooked. See you this week. We hitting a course. I would be up for a round in at Bradford for some more practice, or any old course would be fine as well. Bradford would be great, but it's a bit out of town. So probably carpool for that one. Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd probably be up for it. Probably Tuesday would be good. Probably Tuesday would be good. Young 79. Todd says he's young. All right. And we got more experience coming to the conversation, talking about youthfulness and age. Todd with his multiple kids talking about how young he is. Oh, 1979? All right, Doc. Okay, not 79 years old. How out of town? We're talking less than an hour. Less than an hour. Doc says carpool, driving, I'm out. Well, you got to drive to meet us, Doc, if you want to carpool together. So looks like you're out of luck. Huntersville, Davidson area. Yeah, it's going to be less than an hour. Cheeky. I would say that it is 45 minutes, 50 minutes for me. Let me see. Let me see. I can get directions right now. Oh, that's right. I don't allow location on my laptop. Secret address being typed in. Who knows? As long as I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, it looks like 45 minutes with traffic, probably. This is less than 40 minutes for me. Hey, Marcelino says, what's up, bro? Heck yeah, man. Thanks for dropping in and hanging out. Just chilling, having a good time. Getting insulted by Doc over and over again. Nothing new. That's chill, but carpool may be smart. Yeah. I mean, it's not super far, but it's like straight north, so I think. I just looked at the map 5 seconds ago. Yeah, it's pretty much straight north. Yeah, carpooling would be the way, I think. That's why Brad has married friends. They have access to minivans and SUVs. Well, I have a car. I can fit 2 people in it. Brent has a minivan. It's true. Brent has a fancy, nice minivan. Brent has a very nice minivan. Doc says, Brent, I don't care what people say. If I wasn't loving my gas mileage, then minivans are sweet. Yeah. I'm happy with the gas mileage my car gets. 33 to 35 miles per gallon average in Charlotte. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. Brent says, Kia Carnival. I am proud. 2024. It's a new vehicle. Marcelino says, exactly where I want to be then. Yep. Exactly right. Doc says, car equals road trip. Okay, road trip equals minivan, sweet riding. I'm just barely following this guy. 2024 should have gotten into HVAC. The money may be decent, but the work is extreme. Brent works his butt off. He is dying in the heat, 60 hours a week. Brent, what did you work? Did you have any weeks in July where you worked less than 50 hours? I doubt it. Brent says, I hate my job. Yeah, I don't blame you. Your job has been unreal. From what I've seen of it, yeah, you did not have a week in July where you worked less than 50 hours. And we're talking the heat of the summer, like death. And I don't mind being hot. This sounds awful. Morg, just started your first job. Nice, congrats. Not always the most exciting thing, but of course, getting a job, having the money can be great. Can be a good rhythm. Hopefully you like your job. Hopefully you like your co-workers. Doc says, want to breathe fiberglass for 12 hours a day. LOL. Doc says, the lowest hours in July was 53. Didn't sense your job. Carolina Julys are rough. That's true. Yep. Raleigh was super hot when we were there in July for the Greater Raleigh Open. Charlotte has just been pretty insane. And again, coming from a guy who's fine with 99 degrees and 115 real feel, like it's hot. I'm sweaty. It's a lot, but thumbs up. I wouldn't want to do HVAC in that. That's insane. Photo editor, mostly pre-K to 12 pictures. That's really cool. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Yeah. I had my sister-in-law did that back in the day, back when she was in college for a while. Brent says, Brad is like, I live for this humidity and suffering. I mean, coming from Florida, it's fine. It's not a big deal. There's no alligators here. Steven says, I'm not fine with 99 degrees. LOL. Yeah, you're one of those weirdies who's like, oh, it's way up to 40 degrees. I'm going to enjoy this round of disc golf. Crazy, man. Doc says, neat. I like editing photos, but I don't have a good artistic talent. I think he meant artistic talent. I think he meant artistic talent. Brent says, while I am suffocating over 85 degrees. Yeah. 80, 85 degrees is warm. It's warm. It was less than 80 and I got a little cold the other day. 40 degrees is beautiful. No, 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 no. Doc says, oops, yes. Mark says, autistic talent is so much funnier. Todd says, just did 9 holes, 100 degrees. Par for the course in Northern California summers. Yep. Yep. Would you say it's a drier heat? Is it like high humidity, not super high humidity? Doc says, artistic. Thanks, autocorrect. Yeah, that's that's a rough one. Perfect hoodie weather. I mean, I don't hate on hoodie weather, but I competed in the Chain Hawk Open, and it was 40 degrees in the morning, and it was brutal. Like fingers hard to grip a disc, and I was wearing my hoodie and shorts and long sleeve shirt underneath. And it was tough. Toss is very dry. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Brent says it at least it's 70% humidity. Isn't 70% humidity. Brent says I'll take 100 degrees low humidity all day. It can be definitely it can definitely be a huge impact. Not being super humid can make a big difference. Although sometimes the sun is just like beating on you. It's so hot, and even though it's not humid, it's almost just worse. Like the sun's like embedding itself in your skin. That can be oppressive. But otherwise, I'll take the heat. Doc says hoodie weather, so in the negatives. Ugh. Brad, you're a cold weather, maybe jacket, but still in shorts guy too. For competition, yes. And I suffered through a lot of soccer seasons, track and cross country seasons in the cold with shorts shorter than I was comfortable wearing. So my legs are fine, but yeah, my hands, just disc golf, I can't have super cold hands. It's just miserable. But yes, I would wear multiple layers up top before I would put on pants for a competition because I just don't like compromising the freedom of wearing shorts for something competitive that's athletic. GK says, all right, it was kind of lurking, but I'm going to get to it now for real. See you, boss. All right, man. Catch you soon this week. We'll get in a round at Bradford. That'll be fun. Todd says, guess what, guys? Just hit the 50 pounds down milestone. Today's cheat day. Taco Bell, second dinner. Woo, that's awesome, Todd. Congrats, dude. You have been putting in the work. I'm impressed. That's great. That's really, really great. Steven says 40 degrees means no ticks, hoodie, comfortable, don't even need gloves. I haven't gotten a tick on me since I moved to Florida. So 3 years in Florida, 8 months in Charlotte, zero ticks, nothing. So, and I wear shorts everywhere. Doc says, I wear pants at church and that's about it. Brent says, Bradley complains if it's 70 degrees outside. I'm so cold. Bradley the other day. Yeah, it's cold. If it's not 70 something, like 76, like it's only 70 degrees, a little breeze. Like, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps already just thinking about it. I'm getting a little cold. Jeez, only 70? Ugh. Can play 2 rounds in a below 75. Yeah. You can handle it. I mean, I could do 2 rounds at 90. I've done 2 rounds at 95 degrees. That's miserable, but I could do it. Doc says, Brent, I'm a baby in the heat. I can't say nothing. Todd says, thanks, brother, all summer. You've been putting in the effort, dude. You've been putting in the effort. 65 is perfect. I will say, for competitive athletics, 65 is fantastic. Like, it's great because you're moving, you're active. It's perfect. Wet towel over your nose trying to breathe. Dang, dude, you gotta expose yourself to some heat sometime just to handle it a little bit better, just to adjust a little. Yes, but we have copperheads. That's true. That wasn't a problem in Florida. There were water moccasins, but now the copperheads are more common. That's true. 76 plus Brent is suffering. Dang. You guys need to just go to Florida for a month. And then everything else in your life, you'll be like, this is nice. This is fun. This is good. Just for life. 67.8 degrees. I mean, I cool my room down to 72 and I get a little chilly sometimes. It's a little too cool. You've been to Florida. It's awful. Florida's great. The land of freedom, fun, opportunity, and you don't have to ever worry about being cold. It's a great place. It's a great place. Your house is 69 degrees, how it belongs. That's chilly. It's a little chilly. Not horrible, but it's chilly. That's blanket weather right there. You sit on the couch and you put on a blanket and you're like, yeah, there we go. We're good. Doc says, I've had breathing issues all my life. Luckily, not bad enough for asthma meds. Have jobs failing breathing tests. That's unfortunate. That's frustrating. Florida looks nice in the winter. Otherwise, no thanks. Todd says, was in Florida for 3 months for military school. I still remember the feeling stepping off the plane. Felt like someone slapped me in the face with a warm, wet blanket. That is such a beautiful way to describe it. That's exactly right. You walk outside and the air hugs you and you're like, ah, this is nice. It's like taking that hot shower and that moment of like, you don't want to turn off the water, and you know if you turn off the water, then some of it's going to be colder and you're going to be like, ah. But you just have that heat on you. It's like that all over. Yeah, this is so great. You're making me. Thanks, Todd. Florida weather is nice in the winter. It's nice year round, but there's something special about rolling over into November and hitting that like 75-degree day and just being like, this is great. This is great. I remember when I started playing disc golf in like November, December in Florida, and just realizing that unlike Michigan, where I'd spent all of my life up to that point, I could reliably just plan on going outside and playing disc golf every day. And some days I couldn't, occasionally, but I could reliably say I'm planning to go out and play tomorrow, and I wouldn't have to be like, am I going to have to like hope that it's not storming this week or nasty outside? I'm not like crossing my fingers for a 44-degree day without snow melting on the ground. It was like, yeah, it'll probably be great. Hot shower. You mean cold shower when it's over 80, right? I mean, I have pretty hot showers. Like I have gone from sweating through my clothes on the course in 90+ degree weather to throwing my disgusting clothes into the laundry hamper and taking a nice hot shower to cool down. It's very effective. Doc says, Brent, I worry for your friend. I've had people ask me if I'm from up north because I play in shorts, t-shirt in the winter. Yeah, I mean, I'm from up north, but I don't subject myself to pure mental and physical torture. I like enjoying my life. Won't speak for Doc, though. I'm getting tired. 8 more minutes. Bradley might be sick. Well, if I'm sick, then I've been sick for 3.5 years. But I hope I'm not sick because I have been feeling very healthy for a while, and I'm just like, is it time? Is it time for me to just succumb to a sickness? I guess I did have like as far as colds go, an awful cold earlier this year. It wasn't awful, but it was like 3 days of fairly exhausted misery. And I did have that this year. So I've been sick this year. It wasn't that bad. Like the flu is so much worse. But part of me thinks I'm overdue for being sick. Part of me is like, no, I'm good. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll never get sick again. Todd says, "Hey Brad, did you have a friend with you during the Am Worlds Amateur Worlds tournament that I just played, or was I alone?" So for Amateur Worlds, Jacob Stoner and I were both sharp guys. We got an Airbnb together, but we were playing at similar times for pretty much the whole week. So we did a practice round together, but otherwise we couldn't caddy for each other. Um, so when I was playing and competing, I didn't have a caddy for the first 3 days. Then my brother flew in and caddied for me for the last 2 rounds, which was awesome. But for the for the driving, I was alone. For the rooming situation, we split that Airbnb, which was great, and then practice. But then we competed separately, so there was a lot of overlap. We were hanging out some in the evenings and stuff like that, but we definitely had separate competitive experiences out there. Um, so I was grateful that my brother was able to come caddy for me the last couple of days, and it was really cool of him because he got plane tickets and flew out just for those 2 rounds and then flew back Sunday morning. So he was there like Friday afternoon to Sunday morning. That was it. So pretty legendary, pretty cool of him. And that is all like during his first week of school, basically, or right before his first week of school. Brent says, I'm sleep typing this right now. I already fell asleep. Good night. Brent, you need to go to sleep. You're an old guy. You need to get some rest. Don't get sick in about a month from now. Oh, that would be the worst. I'd rather get sick now for like 2 weeks and then be fine for amateur doubles. Yeah. Steven says, I'm a partial hypocrite. I injured my back recently, kind of praying about that one. Yeah, that's tough. Definitely don't stretch, don't push yourself, don't hurt yourself. Todd says, what an awesome brother you have. 10 out of 10, brother. We might disagree about Taco Bell and disc golf, but we agree about praying. Absolutely. Jacob is the GOAT. Yes, he is. John Kelly, are you coming up for Great Lakes Open? I am not coming up for the Great Lakes Open. I actually have friends and family going up for it, but I'm not, after Amateur Worlds, I was not interested in the monetary element of that. And my experience at US Amateurs was so poor, I'm in no hurry to return to the toboggan course specifically. Although I think AM's played the other courses. Anyway, I am not coming up for Great Lakes Open. I don't think that I'll be up in Michigan for the end of the year. I don't know about Christmas. I might visit family, but otherwise, I don't have Michigan travel plans. I have Florida travel plans. Yes, for disc golf. Brent says I'm going to have to drop out of US Dubs. Oh no. Don't do it, Brent. He's just delirious in his sleep. He doesn't know what he's saying. USDGC is coming to him at least. Yeah, that is helpful. Old Tuscan enthusiast says, Mick Reddy, how did it go? Amateur Worlds went really well. 15th place. Huge blessing. And I beat Brent in a little tournament yesterday, which is fun. I mean, I took second place, but Brent took third, so ha. And then doubles, USDGC doubles, and is in just over a month. Just over a month. Brent says, psych, got him. So tired. My jokes are just awful. Todd says, poor experience. Didn't you play above your rating? So, Amateur Worlds, I shot hot round one, tied for the lead card coverage, 15th place, shot above my rating. US Amateurs in Michigan, so that was in Missouri. US Amateurs in Michigan in June did not play well. I took 123rd out of 144 players, something bad like that. I don't play well in elevation, wind. I don't throw that far. That's a monster of a course. So that experience was the first amateur major of the year. I'm not in a hurry to play toboggan again. Playing Amateur Worlds, fantastic experience. I played Harmony Bends pretty well. I competed fine at the Dam, but wasn't my best. And Joseph Miller I played well at. So Am Worlds played great. US Am's terrible. Amateur Doubles is the last, it's not a major, but it's the last big amateur event of the year, and that's in October. First week of October coming up in a month. What should our goal number be tomorrow? Oh, what do we do in the qualifier? Do we do 11 or 12? I think we need to shoot for 14. No, 15. We need to go 15 down. 10 down, says Brent. Aim for par. -12, says Brent. Oh, that's what Doc said. We'll say 14. I think 14. Steven says, Brent, I sensed Brad's fear when you told him you were dropping out. Great job. I didn't believe him for a second. Doc says Brent was the best joke of the day besides Brad joking about Hardy's not being good. Hardy's being good. That's a real joke. Todd says, I never realized you were at that high of a level. Well freaking done. Thank you very much. I didn't realize I was at that high of a level. I didn't think I was capable of tying for first round 1, and I actually bogeyed hole 2. So I went birdie bogey, and I was like, I hope I shoot 1,000 rated. And then I shot an 11 down, 1,036 rated round 1. So exceeded my expectations. And then I get filmed on Gatekeeper Media round 2, triple bogey hole 2. That was excellent. But you should watch that round. It was a very interesting round, slowly fighting back from that triple bogey. And to be fair to me, like, I don't play in a lot of wind very often. And I just had the first 2 holes, I didn't throw well with the wind. And I came out +3 for those 2 holes with that triple bogey. And then after that, I played the course fine. Just fine. 16 solo birdies for Brent. Oh my gosh. I've seen Brent play. I know he's not capable of that. Hope he gets 16 and use all of Brent's shots. Did you get any payment for being on Gatekeeper? No. They keep their own ad revenue. 14 birdies and 2 aces. Brent says that he can do it. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. The last thing I remember Bradford is Brent losing a match play round to me. That's weird. Is that the last thing we did at Bradford? Huh. Oh, wait, no, the last thing at Bradford was a tournament that I beat Brent in. Oh, that's right. That's what it was. Man, my memory these days is just a little rough around the edges. All right, Brent's going to bed. Good night, Brent. See you tomorrow. Definitely hit a lot of crazy shots. There were some shots. There were some shots. Todd's going to watch that round. Heck yeah. Yeah, watch that Gatekeeper round. I hate the thumbnail because it was windy and my hair got pushed up. So it doesn't quite look like me, but like my nose and beard look so much like me that it's impossible not to recognize me. But then my hair is like, what is going on with that? It was a wild little action shot for that. Never gonna let that go. Brent, one time he beat you. It's a relevant time because it's the same course that we're playing, Bradford, and it's the course that we're talking about Brent using all of Brent's shots when the last time we played it together, we saw the person who came out on top. So it's not only one time, it's a relevant example. Todd, if you can shout out Brad and his channel in the comments, it's a good thing. That's always a good thing. I have a few comments on that video. Especially round 1, I have a couple comments. So yeah, go interact with those comments. That'd be great. Mention how good Hardy's hot dogs are. Okay. All right. Todd says will do. I am pretty tired. I'm about ready to call it. I need to eat something. I have a headache, and it's not just Doc. Say something really embarrassing. Todd, there's nothing you can say that's more embarrassing than being the only triple bogey on hole 2 in round 2 of Amateur Worlds and doing it on lead card coverage. To be fair, the commentators were really kind to me. Like, they were very like, it's windy out there, and that shot just got away from him. And I was like, well, that's a nice way to say it. And then the whole round, they were like, Brad's keeping it clean. He's slowly working on triple bogey. He's got a decent, round. Now, so they were pretty like friendly. They could have been like Oof. Triple bogey. No chance of winning the event. And I would have been like, well, true, but a little harsh. The only one with only one bogey, that's true. My triple bogey being the only bogey stroke that I took, and I played bogey free the rest of the round. That is true. Steven, thank you. You're really making me look good here. Now we see Todd's comments that he's going to leave. I'm going to have to go message Gatekeeper Media and say, hey, you barely know me, but this some really, you have to delete them. Just ban him from your channel. They knew you were Brent's friend. All right. Before we devolve into total madness, I'm going to call it. Thank you all for hanging out. Shout out to Blade for the $15 donation for 15th place. Turns out I should have taken like 280th place. Blaze's donation would have been amazing. But that was really cool of him. And who's the other guy that donated? I feel bad. I don't remember who it was. Was it Joseph that donated early on? I think it was Joseph. Shout out to really awesome. Make you look good against the rest of the AMs. But try my best to be the one to beat you myself. Heck yeah, heck yeah. All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you later. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Catch you next Sunday. Hopefully, with me saying I beat Team Brent again and took $350 again. That'd be nice. All right, good night, guys.